Welcome back. Joining me now in the studio is Allison Hess, and she happens to be the Education and Engagement Manager at the Thousand Islands Playhouse in Gananoque. And we're going to be talking about summer camps. Actually, it's summer theater camps, isn't it, Allison?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
So are there 2 sessions?
Yes, so we run 2 sessions of our summer camp. They're both 2 weeks long in July. So the first 2 weeks of July 2nd to the 12th, and then July 15th to the 26th. And it's a really great camp because you in those 2 weeks, you put on a show.
So at the end of it?
Yeah, so on the end of the 2 weeks, on the last Friday, they actually perform the show for friends and family. And it's a little bit different than our March break camps or our PA day camps, where our March break is a bit more about skills, where we have workshops about stage combat and scenic painting and all these things. Our PA day camps are really focused on like crafting and like how you make a show.
Okay.
And then our summer camps are about putting all those skills together and doing a full performance with, songs and dances. Everybody gets a part, everybody gets lines, everybody gets to sing, and then they do a show at the end. So,
wow.
Yeah.
What age group are we talking about for the camps?
Yeah, so our summer camps, it's if you're going into, in the fall of 2024, grades 3 to grade 8. Last year was our first year, and we did grade 3 to 6. And we've actually expanded it now to grades 3 to 8. And last year went really well, and went so well, in fact, that we are actually sold out for both sessions.
You are sold out?
Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
I should say.
Obviously, there's so many people I would love to have in it, and I would love to have 8 summer camps, but time and space is a challenge. But we do have a wait list, so I always suggest if people are like, oh, that sounds fun, to put yourself on the wait list, because there's always a chance.
You never know.
You never know, and also it gives us an idea of the interest. So maybe next year we do 3 sessions, right? If we're seeing that there's a need, we want to fulfill that because it's really fun. Right?
You have fun, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, we do. It's such a great energy having the kids in the theater, and they get to perform in the Fire Hall Theater at the Playhouse, which is where we perform our professional productions. And so it's a really cool experience for the kids that they get to have real lights and sound and a real like stage, just like the professionals. So it's a pretty cool experience.
Yes, and especially for those that have never ever been on a stage before. Wow.
Yeah, and the way that we look at our camps, we do have some kids who maybe take dance or take voice lessons, but we always have kids who it's their first experience. They're just trying something out. And the cool thing about these camps is there's a place for everybody. So if you're someone who really wants to stand center stage and like sing a solo or do something where everyone's looking at you, there's a place for you there. But if you're someone who is just sort of kind of feeling it out and you're not quite sure, there's a place for you as well, which I think is really important, right? Because you don't know what you like until you try it. Yeah,
and this gives them an opportunity.
Exactly.
So do you have a lot of returnees from last year?
Yeah, we do. We about half have done a camp before, whether the summer camp last year or one of our March break or PA day camps are returning, which is great because it means they're enjoying themselves.
Yes, it does.
And the 2 sessions are similar in makeup, like how we do the camp, but the shows are different. So we actually have, about maybe 10 or so students campers who are doing both sessions. So they're going to get to do 2 different shows. So we always encourage that. And if you do a March break camp or a PA day camp and then a summer camp, you're getting a different experience every time. So they kind of complement each other. It's great that way.
So what type of play would they be presenting at the end of their camping experience? Is it like a comedy? Is it a lot of singing? What are we talking about?
Yeah, so they're musicals, and they're made specifically for kids.
Aww.
So they're built in a way that it's like really easy for them to be successful, and they're built with lots of roles. So it's not something like Little Mermaid where you have your main roles and then everyone else is just a fish. It's like everyone has a name, everyone has a part, everyone has lines if they want to say lines.
Yes, of course.
And a little sneak peek, one of them's about dragons and one of them's about monsters. So so they're built in mind for young performers, and it just is really cool because the kids connect really to the material a lot, which is great.
Yes, and it's for them.
Yeah,
it's for them.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's good.
The experience.
That's good. So what's the time frame? Like, what time do you start in the morning?
So the camps run all day. So they're full day camp.
From 9
a.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay.
And then we also have before and after care. So we do an hour beforehand, or from 8 to 9, and from 4 to 5, because sometimes when people work, you need that little bit of extra time. So we have that as an option that people can add to the camps, and it's Monday to Friday, and it's a camp where, as I said, like, you do the play at the end. So it's really important. It's not a drop-in, right? It's everyone's there all day for the entire 2 weeks. But we find the kids. The campers, like, they love it, and they go home, and we've gotten so much feedback about how, they go home with their books and they want to learn the songs, and they're singing them in the bath, and they're singing them in the car, and like, you can just like feel the excitement, and they love the idea of like working towards something, right? That it means something. It's not just like day camp and daycare where you go and you play. It's like, we're doing something together as a team that has a result that we get to share with people, and I think that's really special.
So from day one, you're actually building on this play, are you not?
Yeah, so day one, we read through, the kids pick what roles they like, they audition, and I say that in air quotes because we don't do formal auditions. It's more we play games and we sing some songs together. So if the people are scared to sing in front of people alone, you never have to, but we take what they're interested in, what roles that they want, and we try to cast accordingly. They get their scripts, and they go home with their scripts and their roles that very first day, and then the rest of the time they're rehearsing, playing games. We build parts of the set and paint things, and so it's really all-encompassing. And it's great because I think there's a lot of sport camps, and there's a lot of team building in that way, which is so awesome and so important. But there are a lot of kids who it's not really for them, right? And this is an opportunity to become part of a team and part of a community in a completely different way, which I think is really special.
It is indeed. It is indeed. Cost?
So the camps run with HST. We have a 9-day camp and a 10-day camp, because we have, of course, Canada Day at the beginning of July. And so they run around for the 2 weeks with HST just around $600 each. And we also have some financial assistance if necessary. So we always encourage families to reach out. My email's on the camp page, and I always encourage them to reach out, because we want this to be an accessible experience to as many campers as possible.
Yes. So there's something special. There's an opportunity once they have presented to their relatives. And what is that opportunity?
So we have this new program we're running this year, which is our counselor and training program. So as I said, our camp goes up to grade 8, and then if you're going into grade 9 or going into grade 10, you're still a little young to be a counselor. We encourage people to be at least in grade 10 to be a counselor. But we have this new program where you get to come and volunteer and work with the campers and learn the skills to become a counselor, while also working with me individually on skills like resume building, interview skills, crowd and group management. If a group is really excited, how do you play a game to help them focus? Or if they're very tired, like, how do you kind of pump them up, right? Not just you getting volunteer hours and participating, but also learning skills that they can use to become a counselor, hopefully, but also, in any kind of job, because
that's nice.
I think that's really important.
It is important.
Yeah.
Good. So that's an addition this year.
Yes, and we actually have some spaces left in that. So our camp itself is sold out, which, as I said, a good problem, because I would love to have everyone join, but we do actually still have some space in our CIT program. So if there are training. So if students are going into grade 9 or grade 10 and they're looking for volunteer hours, they're looking for experience to bump up their resume and learn how to kind of get a job, and to be a mentor for younger students, we have some space there.
So one very, 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 very special performance at the end of both of these camps.
Yes.
What are the children going to see?
So the children themselves perform their show.
And then
they also get to go see our professional production of Mamma Mia.
Wow.
Which is really cool.
Yes.
So it's really amazing because they're working all week to build their show. And then the Thursday before their final performance on Friday, they get to go and see a professional show. So they get to see all the things that they've been working on writ large in a professional setting. And for some campers, it's their first time attending a professional performance, first time seeing theater, and it's really cool to draw the distinction and the line between what they're doing and what the professionals are doing, and how similar they are.
Love it.
And it's really special. Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Where were you when I was growing up? This is exciting.
I know I feel sometimes I'm building programs that I would have loved to do when I was a kid.
And why not?
And why not, right?
And why not?
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in, Allison.
Of course. I
really
love
appreciate it.
Awesome.
Don't go away.